Welcome back to the Tiger Sports Show, our weekly look at Hastings High School athletics. This week, before we get to the games and the scores and the athletes, I want to introduce my new co-host, my brother, Tren Mays. Welcome to the show, Tren.
Hello.
You know, there's only one reason that you want a guy like Tren co-hosting your show. You know, you need an old guy who you can talk about the old times with. So that's what we wanted to do this week. It's 2019, and if my math is correct, that means it's the 25th anniversary of our 1994 state football championship team.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so I thought we'd get you on here and talk a little bit. What do you remember about that 94 championship team?
Well, first of all, the start was just crazy. You're coming off the 93 state title, smallest Class A school. They take out Lincoln Southeast on their turf. That lasted the whole summer.
Yeah, so
it was just great. It was just nuts to start with.
We were the defending Class A champions,
Yeah.
but what did they do to us?
We got reclassified to Class B, so they had to replace a quarterback, most of the starting line, so there were lots of questions. They lost 2 games during the regular season, and there was doubt whether they were going to defend their title. They had to win the last game, and they had to beat Columbus at Old A.H. Jones Stadium to even make the playoffs.
Yeah, interesting situation. Still ranked number 1 in Class B. Those 2 losses were to
Kearney and Norfolk.
Norfolk, who would win
state champs.
Yeah, Norfolk would win Class A. And so the Tigers are in a situation where they're the number 1 team in Class B, but they might not make the 8-team playoffs. But they come through with the big win over Columbus.
Yeah, Coach Dreer, Coach Corey Dreer, made the big. I still remember the fact that the defensive back decided to leave him and come up on Steve Jones. Corey was wide open, caught the ball, and then we made the playoffs. He got in for the touchdown.
All right. Well, we'll save the playoffs for another episode, maybe. But it was a big play by Coach Dreer, who of course coaches the Tigers now, and that was a great year. And we'll probably return to that a little bit in future Tiger Sports shows. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, Tren, was just the idea for this show. Really, the inspiration for this show was the Tiger football show from the 90s. What do you remember about Coach Olson and the Tiger football show?
Well, that was must-see TV. Coach was an outgoing figure. He was full of life for the school. He loved to promote Hastings High and Hastings High football. And probably the best part was when the game tape rolled and they had the floating head over there in the corner, seeing Coach Olson's head floating on the screen. And then he was just going through the game tape. So the Kearney game from '93, he kept talking about the big play at the end of the game where they sacked Monte Cristo, and that ended up getting the blocked field goal, and they won that game and kept the streak going to the state title. So
yeah, that floating head. We maybe we need that on the show. We could just put Coach's floating head on as we're talking. All right. Well, Coach Olson was quite a character. You remember, of course, where Coach Olson grew up?
No.
You don't? Well, this week, it's homecoming week. Today was Camo Day. Tomorrow is Hawaiian Day. Wednesday is something that I don't know. I'm sure it's pretty good. I'm hearing from the crowd. What's Wednesday? Disney Day. But Thursday's important because it's Jersey Day.
Oh.
And Coach Olson grew up in Jersey.
In New Jersey.
So I was trying to decide, will I dress like Tony Soprano? Will I dress like Bruce Springsteen? But I really need to dress like Coach Olson for Thursday, for Jersey Day. Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Jersey Day, celebrating our Eastern heritage.
Us old timers refer to Tuesday as Islander Day.
Islander Day, indeed. Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about that in a little bit because the volleyball team got a big win over Grand Island this week. But first, we're going to go to this week's highlights, and we're going to look at the tennis team first. So, off to some Tiger tennis highlights. Coach Sunderman and the Tiger tennis team were active again this week. On Tuesday, they hosted Norfolk. The varsity lost the duel 7-2. Then they headed to Lincoln High. At Lincoln High, they played a little bit better, but dropped that one 6-3. And then Saturday, they kind of proved again that they're really a tournament team, as they went out to North Platte and finished 4th amongst 10 teams, including several Class A teams. Aiden Kusick and Jose Harazi led the way, finishing in second place in number 2 doubles. Well, in a little bit today here, folks, we'll have our game of the week, which is going to be Hastings versus Alliance football. A big win for the Tigers out west. Second trip out west for the team, and they went out, and the game started not looking so good. A big touchdown by Alliance early. What was that, about 80-yard touchdown?
88 yards.
88 yards, yeah. And so things were looking tough for the Tigers. You know, it's always tough on the road when something bad happens to you early, but they really responded. Came back and took a 14-7 lead at halftime, and then in the second half really controlled that game.
Yeah,
and
both sides of the ball.
Won 35-7. You have some stats for us on how things went?
Well, the Tigers rolled up 369 yards of total offense, which is great. They were really balanced. They had 166 rushing and 203 passing. It's good to have that balance, just a balanced attack. Austin Nauert, who's a junior, had a big catch to set up the first touchdown, 59 yards. Carson Shoemaker, little shoe, and his little nifty little feet he was moving and juking all over the field. He had 8 catches for 72 yards. 6 different Tigers caught passes, so they continue to be really balanced in the passing department. It's hard to be able to tell who's hot that night. Defensively, the Tigers showed up. Leif Holtein, Big Max Johnson, who's a sophomore, Big Max played really well. He got a sack. Holtein had a sack. Brandon Calvage set up a huge 4th down. They were forced to punt. He set up the huge play with the fake punt, got 11 yards. Him and Calvage and Gareth Jones both had 4 tackles. So,
all right, big night for the Tigers, and you know, we've seen this team as a big play team. How are they measuring up? I mean, they've had some 80-yard pass plays. They've had some 50-yard pass plays. Are they setting records with these?
We're getting close. We have a 100-yard rushing club. Carson got into that a couple weeks ago.
100 yards in a game.
Yeah, we have 75 members of that club now, so we're going to try to get more of that. Just passing-wise, I've done Cynic's up over 700 yards in 3 games.
And so that's Vinny Schmidt's record, right?
For yards in a game, yards in a season, I think. So
does he have a shot at that?
Oh yeah, he may just obliterate it if he keeps doing what he's doing. So, and it's just good to see him having success. Football's big around here, and hopefully they can keep it going and keep chugging for the playoffs. So.
All right, well, big homecoming game this week with Gary. The football team's not the only team having success. The volleyball team was not super busy last week. They just had 1 match over in Grand Island, but they went over and beat the Islanders 3-1. They lost the first set of the night. Were really struggling with their serve a little bit, and then once they got that on track, they really handled the Islanders. And that's their 2nd win over Grand Island this year, so that's always good. You know, Coach, I like beating Grand Island.
So do I.
All right. The girls golf team was also in action this week as they were at the Lexington Invite and played pretty well, though ended up out of the money. But the big action for the girls golf team was at the cookout they hosted at Russ's as a fundraiser this weekend. It was great to see Coach Christie wandering up and down Burlington trying to wave people in. I got myself a hamburger. It was pretty good. Did you get over to the cookout?
I was out at softball.
Oh, yeah.
Morning, so.
Well, we'll talk about how the softball team did in just a minute. But first, we're going to go to the Tiger of the Week. We got a new Tiger of the Week this week, Zaid Widener from the football team, who had a big interception return.
Interception for a touchdown is a big part of the He was in the 3rd quarter and pretty much put the game away.
Well, that's how you get to be Tiger of the Week. So let's take a look at that film. Welcome back. I'm here with this week's Tiger of the Week, Zaid Widener of the football team. Zaid, congratulations.
Thanks.
I want to talk a little bit about last Friday's game. You had a big play, interception return. How exactly did that go down?
Well, like my position, I'm like a free safety, and I'm basically behind the quarterback, and I just happened to be in the right spot at the right time, and I saw the ball, and I just put my hands up and just happened to catch it.
And nothing but green grass in front of you, or did you have to make some moves?
No, it was pretty open, and I decided to use my speed and just happened.
All right, well, the folks are going to get to watch that later because the Alliance game's our game of the week.
Right.
So they'll be watching for that film. So far this year, you guys have kind of proven yourselves to be a big play team.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how the team feels? You guys make big things happen?
Yeah, we use our speed a lot with our wide receivers, and we're more of a passing offense. In our defense, we can hold the offense pretty well on defense, but I mean, Scotts Bluff, we didn't really tackle very well. It wasn't our game, but you know, McCook and Alliance, we still weren't tackling very well, but we were fortunate enough to win those games.
What do you think from here on out? What are we going to see Friday night with Gary?
Probably a lot of passing again, like Alliance, you know. Alliance is a lot like Gary. They're more 50-50 run pass game. Our defense should be able to handle that pretty well if we're tackling good. I don't know. We'll find out.
All right, yeah, I guess that's why they play the games, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to throw a little curveball at you.
All right.
Another question. You're a junior here, right?
Yep.
How's school going so far? What's your favorite class?
Probably weights.
All right. And who's your teacher in weights?
Coach Shu.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's good. Butter up the coach there.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. All right. Well, congratulations on Tiger of the Week, and good luck to the Tigers this Friday.
All right. Thank you.
Coach Rosno and the cross-country team were over in Aurora this Friday. Great day for a meet. On the girls' side, the team finished third, led by Chelsea Espinoza, who was second overall, Mary Ferrone, who came in at 14th, and Dulce Lopez, who came in right behind her at 15th. On the boys' side, they were glad to get top runner Jaden Welsh back. Jaden finished second, just a second behind the winner. Landon Eckhart finished sixth for the Tigers, and Jonathan Lopez finished 13th, as the boys also finished third as a team. Another big week for Coach Theo Harris's softball team. They went 7-0 this week. Saturday, they won their own tournament by beating Holdridge, Bennington, and Grand Island Central Catholic. On Tuesday, they swept Cozad and Aurora in a triangular. And Monday, they went over to Grand Island Northwest, beat the host team, and then, for probably their biggest win of the week, upset number 2 in the state Beatrice 10-6. The Orange had defeated the Tigers earlier this season, so that was really a big win. Sophie Cerveny and Sammy Schmidt both had 3 hits in that win for the Tigers, who are up to number 6 in the state top 10. Well, that's how things went last week for the Tigers. Let's take a look at our calendar now and see what's on tap for the Tiger teams. It's another busy week in Tigerland, as girls golf on Monday finally gets to stay home, hosting Grand Island in a duel. Then on Tuesday, they get to stay home some more, hosting their big Tiger Invite out at Laughlin Country Club. The boys' tennis will also be at home Tuesday hosting Grand Island, and in the evening, out at the softball complex, the Tiger girls are hosting McCook. Thursday's the busiest day of the week, as the cross-country team heads down the interstate to the Lincoln High Invite run at the Pioneers Park course. Boys' tennis heads west to play Holdridge, while the volleyball team stays in town to host the Dusters. Out at the softball complex, it'll be Hastings versus Adams Central. Friday, girls golf is in action again, heading to Minden, and then the homecoming football game at 7 o'clock out at Hastings College as the Tigers face Gehring. Saturday, volleyball heads to the Central City Invite. The softball team hosts their Tiger Invite with some of the top teams in the state, including number 1 Omaha Skutt. It's going to be a great week in Tigerland. And now it's time for our Tiger Game of the Week. This week we go out west to watch the Tiger football team face the Alliance Bulldogs and pick up a big 35-7 win that helped propel the Tigers even higher in the top 10. They're up to number 6 this week. Let's take a look at that game.
Shot put. Set 2 feet away. On Troyer. One of the guys back deep, and we are underway. And on the other side, this is going to be Wade Sanders. Quarterback is Trevor Gray. He's a senior. He is in the pistol. And he will throw it out into the right part on first down. We had a lot of learning experience trying to pull a lot of beauty here as far as video and everything.